And we are live for episode 13 of the Beardarchy Project. Once again, I am here with Get Good, my co-host, and
Yeah.
Koalas, which she's our manager. And we're going to start off how we always do here. This podcast is covered by the BitCop No Government License and use and reuse by anyone except governments or the bludgies thereof. And Brandenburg v. Ohio, we are also covered by. So Brandenburg v. Ohio states that Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. I'm struggling. This is rough. No more weeks off, dude. So Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. The court held that the government cannot punish inflammatory speech unless that speech is directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action, which means everything said here on the Beardarchy Project is hypothetical. Bow. Yeah, we can't take a week off, dude. I can't struggle with the opening anymore. Just fucking fell apart during that whole fucking thing. All right. So, to start it all off, we're going to talk about ICE. These fucking cunts. So, Trump's DOJ uses Alien Enemies Act to allow ICE home entry without warrants. So, Trump's DOJ used the Alien Act in March 2025, letting ICE arrest suspected Venezuelan gang affiliates without warrants. Over 200 were detained. The Supreme Court intervened, mandating at least 36 hours notice and court access before deportation, reaffirming essential due process rights and immigration enforcement. Sorry. So, in saying that, right, there's been clear cases that this hasn't changed, and they are not using due process at all, or that dude still wouldn't be in El Salvador as it is. They're sending fucking U.S. kids there. We have an article on that as well, but we'll get there. Um, so here's some of the key takeaways. Trump DOJ allowed ICE to enter homes and arrest without warrants using the Aliens Enemy Act. Over 200 Venezuelans, mainly linked to Tren de Agua, were arrested based on appearance or loose suspicion. Now that is a key term right there. We're going off appearance and loose suspicion. I'm just going to throw out there, appearance and loose suspicion is not a crime. And they should not be using these examples as taking them and fucking sending them to a completely different country. That's not right in any way, shape, or form. Um, the Supreme Court restored due process, requiring at least 36 hours before removal and a chance for a judicial review. In March 2025, a decision from the Trump DOJ changed the standards for how Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, officers could go about entering homes and arresting people. The memo made use of an old law, the Alien Enemy Act, which dates back to 1798, to give ICE much wider powers than before. The decision affected mostly Venezuelan nationals suspected of links with Trende, whatever, the Venezuelan gang, considered hostile by the government. Okay, so I actually have an interesting take on this, and ICE has no fucking training to do this stuff, all right? So the big thing right there, immigration and custom enforcement. What they are supposed to be doing, they're supposed to be sitting on the borders. They are supposed to be checking paperwork, making sure there's no contraband, and then fucking off. That's literally all they're supposed to be doing. They are not door kickers. They are not. There's no way these people have the training to do what they're doing, right? And that's probably, in my opinion, right, this is probably why they're actually using the Alien Act now, which lets them, break Constitution rules and go in anybody's house to see if they're holding illegal aliens. And that is ridiculous. It's unconstitutional. Um, yeah, I don't. It's fucked up. I don't know, man. What are you thinking here, Devin? This is it's just super frustrating to me because like they're not door kickers, and like here's another big thing, right? So we've heard countless stories. I think we've covered some here on the Beardarchy, where ATF and some other branches have like broke up a little bit, and like disbanded some of these people. So the people from the ATF are actually like joining forces with ICE and FBI. And what most people don't realize is that they have constantly different ways of thinking. And when you start mixing these two, it's just a mess because nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, and they have way too much power, and they're uncontrolled at this point in time. You know, they have zero right to detain anybody for appearance or loose suspicion for sure, even though you're going to hear that all the time dealing with police officers, ACAB. That, oh, well, yeah, it's suspicious behavior. Well, what suspicion is crime, right? So what crime is suspicion under? Let me hear that. Articulate that, right? That's what we preach here, but I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is extremely unconstitutional. You can't just enter people's homes based on, well, we think there might be someone who doesn't belong here and there. Yeah, motherfucker, you don't belong here. Where's your fucking warrant?
Right.
Didn't Nazi Germany also do that?
Oh, yes. They did. They sent around the Gestapo to scoop people up.
Yeah, you'll see a real reoccurring trend with what's going on in America right now. Yes, the Nazis did that. You don't even have to ask anymore.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and the fact that we're sending around Gestapo agents to fucking scoop up illegal aliens, and like, here's my thing, right? Okay, I get it. It's for all the people out there that are like, yeah, fuck you. Okay, first off, you are not looking at the right things here. So, violent criminals, yes, get them off the street, right? I understand that. Whatever. All right, if they're part of MS-13 or Tren de Agua, right, and they're running around taking over apartment complexes or whatever the fuck you think they're doing, but you know, selling drugs and fentanyl and shit like that. If they're actually doing that, yes, get them out of here. I understand that. But the family of immigrants that are just trying to make a living and trying to get away from whatever bullshit there they came from, and that goes for anybody that's trying to come in the country, our process of getting into America is fucking hard as it is. And where this comes in is like, so you do want to come to America? Great, awesome, we'd love to have you, right? At least that's what most people are going to say because they're not pieces of shit. But in saying that, the process for a low-income household is fucking difficult. It's hellaciously difficult. Almost impossible to do. And I feel like if we are going to end up making this process to be more constitutionally aware and not having ICE agents kick in random people's doors because they think you have an illegal alien underneath your floorboards. Yes, that's a reference to a movie. It's a Nazi movie where Nazis are the bad guy. That it's... I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, if you have to revamp the entire system, right? You can't just cut out immigration into this country. It's not going to work like that. We have an entire nation that's built off so many different cultures, and as soon as you start kicking that culture out, what do you have left? Not a lot. To be honest, not a lot. But I don't know. I feel like if immigration is such a big problem, then you need to relook at some of the other options as well, not just scooping these people up and sending them out of the country. That's not going to solve anything.
Yeah.
Like the acceptance into America and like getting visas and shit like that has to be easier to obtain. And like that doesn't mean like don't vet them. Obviously vet them. If they have ties to, you know, MS-13 or Tren de Agua or some fucking terrorist organization or whatever you want to say, right? If
my thing is just expect of them what you expect of us. Like I said, and I think two episodes ago, the average American citizen can't name more than like 10 presidents. So why are you going to expect a goddamn Mexican citizen who's never been here or gives a shit to memorize all 50 presidents and the capitals of all our states? Yeah. I don't know the capitals of all our fucking states.
Exactly. Yeah, that's well put. So, I don't know. That's my professional opinion on that. Like that.
Just make sure they're not a fucking murderer and then let them in.
Right. If they're
They're
not
going
running
to
around doing
contribute
heinous,
to the American economy.
yes, and they're going to pay taxes because that's also for some reason people don't believe that.
Even when they're illegal, they had to pay taxes.
Right.
The fucking illegal immigrants, I don't remember the number. I researched it recently, but they pay sales taxes. They pay all that shit. So, I mean, they're contributing to our taxes yearly.
Yeah, that number is like in the billions where they're paying taxes, and it's like, yeah, we're just gonna get rid of all that, and like I am a firm believer. I hate fucking taxes. Taxes is bullshit, and whatever. We're not gonna get into that right now. But like, everybody wants to be like, oh yeah, no taxes, no taxes, no taxes, just to have a stationary sales tax. Yeah, that's fine and dandy, but like, they're paying taxes too, which basically makes them an American citizen in my eyes. If you're being forced to pay the blood money to the government, you're a fucking citizen. Guess what? That's just facts. So that's my take on that. It's fucking ridiculous. And God forbid somebody kicks in my fucking door because they think I have illegals. It's fucking ridiculous. That's breaking and entering.
Don't worry, Doug. They're just there to shoot your dog.
Yep. My poor dog. But oh yeah, Brandenburg v. Ohio. Victor Charlie's not here, so we can't. He's not reminding me now.
But yeah, this is just horseshit. It's unconstitutional. You can't just enter citizens' homes under a suspicion that there might be an illegal immigrant there.
Well, that's been a trend for a long time, is police just using their fucking so-called power. I did quotations
Oh shit!
there.
Sorry, we just kicked in the wrong house's door. See that shit like weekly.
Pretty much.
Oh god,
yeah.
this is the wrong house. Sorry, fucking dumb shits. We can't count.
Right.
Well, wasn't it last week we saw that video of ICE agents who were looking for a man outside of an apartment complex?
Oh,
and
they used a hammer to bust in that guy's window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They found who they thought he was, and he said that he wasn't that person, and they kept telling them this is whatever his name was. I think it was Antonio, and they were looking for a Juan.
Yeah, they were like,
And
your name's Juan. He's like, no, I'm Antonio, and they bust in his fucking window and drag him the fuck out of the car. It's like, holy shit.
And
Like-
his girlfriend was recording and also yelling, hey, this isn't Juan, this is Antonio. Juan is another person in our building, but this isn't him. And then they took a giant fucking ice pick looking hammer and busted in their windows and dragged both of them out. And then they arrested them.
Yeah.
Sounds very American.
It's very unconstitutional.
Oh yeah.
The militarization of the police is honestly disgusting. I can't talk about that enough. Like, that is the one thing that disgusts me more in fucking society today than anything. Like, peacekeepers is what they're supposed to be, not fucking tax collectors and goons. It's just not. It's not what it's about. So. But, you got anything else you want to add to this? Here.
Start putting braces on your doors. Get some castle-like shit, you know.
Castle-like shit. They do make. There's actually there's something that slides underneath the door and like goes straight up. It basically prevents it from being fucking kicked in. So I don't know. Maybe look into that too. Brandon.
And get a Ring camera so we can watch some fat-ass cop try to kick your door down.
Yeah, that shit's always fun to watch.
At least get some entertainment out of the bad.
We could just imagine the memes, dude. The memes. All right. So our next article is Education Department to begin garnishing wages on default student loan borrowers.
Declare bankruptcy, everyone.
So, as a person who's went through bankruptcy, it does not take care of government loans or medical bills.
Actually, it does. It does take care of government loans. You don't remember when we got the call like a month after our bankruptcy, and it was the federal loan, and they were like, hey, you owe. And we were like, oh, well, we just went through bankruptcy. Can you give us a little bit? And they're like, oh, you're going through bankruptcy right now? We can't talk to you. And we were like, wait, I thought you couldn't do anything about that. And they're like, no, you can put that on your bankruptcy, but it was already too late for us.
Yeah. So my wages are probably going to get garnished, but that's okay. But so Trump's administration announced Monday it will start the process of collecting on default federal student loans on May 5th. The Treasury Offset Program, which collects debts by intercepting payments such as tax refunds and Social Security benefits, will administer the collections. Following a required 30-day notice to borrowers, wage garnishment will start later this summer. A senior education department office, which is funny because didn't they get rid of the education department?
I'm not sure.
I'm almost
Yeah, they did.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say like we covered it on like the early episodes. So, education department officials said Monday on a call with reporters. No federal student loan has been referred to collection since March 2020 when the Education Department paused federal student loans for payments and collections during the COVID-19 pandemic. About 5.6 million borrowers were in default at the end of 2024. Most federal student loan borrowers will go into default if they do not make a payment in more than 270 days. Only 4 out of 10 borrowers are current on their student loans, Education Department officials said Monday. 35% of the borrowers are 60 days delinquent, and about 4 million borrowers are 91 to 180 days delinquent. Default borrowers can lose eligibility to receive additional federal student aid and experience legal consequences.
Also, what I'm hearing from this is stop going to college.
Yeah. Stop going to college, go to a trade school, even though.
Especially fuckers that are like drum majors. That don't waste 4 years of your life for something you're never going to use.
I'm in a band, man.
Farms are hiring, so.
Farms are hiring, yeah.
Yeah, farms are definitely going to need employees now.
So what's next? Department officials said they will begin a robust communication strategy consisting of sending a series of emails to default borrowers to let them know about the Treasury Office offset program and urge them to look into several repayment options. Borrowers will be encouraged to enroll in income-driven repayment programs or participate in loan rehabilitation, which requires making a certain number of consecutive on-time loan payments to get out of default, among other options. The department said it may.
Or you can just say, suck a fat one.
They'll just garnish your wages then, Devin.
Oh, then get pissed off about it. And, just have a nice... Just do what the Republicans did, Just hang out at the Capitol building.
Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969.
I said hang out. Just to hang out. Have a good time.
Again, Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969.
You'll get pardoned anyways.
Yeah. The department said it made several tools available to borrow, such as an artificial intelligence assistant, assistant to help with finding a repayment program and extend loan services call center hours.
So, funny thing with that, I know TikTok's not a reliable source of information, but when this came out, there were multiple people on TikTok going, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Their website is down. It does not allow them to put in applications for any of these repayment programs now. They're not sure if it's just an overflux of too many people applying at one time or what it is, but a lot of the assistance programs are down or unavailable right now, the applications for them. So that doesn't do you any good.
So yeah, basically that is that. They're basically just going to garnish your wages until it's all paid off, and the government's got to get their fucking money back, man. You can't let you get a fast one in on them.
Save trillions of dollars fucking wiping government government fucking shit out with Doge, and
supposedly
that fucking 15 grand that we owe is just, it's breaking their bank, man.
I actually don't own 15 grand, so
I don't know how much you owe.
Anybody that's listening, don't worry, I don't owe 15 grand to the government. They'd unshot me or shit like that probably.
Your dog first. Calm down.
Right. I mean, I have a backup plan, right? The dog goes and then I run, but it's fine. Yeah. So I'm good on that. If you're good on that, anyone add?
It's just ridiculous.
Right. How much has Trump spent on golfing this year?
Do you want me to look that up real fast?
You can if you want. They're mad about my actual fucking like 2K that I owe them. But Trump's out here fucking golfing and spending fucking millions.
18.2 as of March 8th.
18.2 million. I can't imagine that being the golfing. Like, it hasn't even been a year. It's just fucking 18.2 mil. And
It's
he's
been
out here.
100 days. It's officially been 100 days he's been in office, and he's already spent $18.2 million of your taxpayer money golfing.
I mean, what better time though? I mean, honestly, like if I get a lump sum of money from my taxpayers daily, I guess I'd go fucking golfing too. Maybe not really. I'm not a golfer, but fuck, fuck golfing.
Fucking ridiculous.
All right, so this is my favorite article. I'm excited to talk about this. Not really. So if you are new or just want a refresher, we talked about the Attorney General Pam Bondi hosts the first task force meeting to eradicate anti-Christian bias in the federal government. We did have an earlier episode that talked about the.
It was episode 4.
It was episode 4, 3 or 4.
I think
I think it's 3 or 4. Either way, where we talk about the anti-Christian task force because these guys are fucking goons and they're just gonna go fucking save all their Christian friends that aren't doing anything wrong. Hint. So, yeah, I'm gonna scroll down.
Sorry.
So today, Attorney General Pamela Bondi hosted members of the President's cabinet at the U.S. Department of Justice for the inaugural. What the fuck?
Inaugural?
Yeah,
Inaugural?
okay, cool. I did say it right. Hell yeah. Inaugural meeting of the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias in the federal government. The task force, which was established by President Trump under Executive Order 14202, was joined by peaceful Christian Americans who were unfairly targeted by the Biden administration for their religious beliefs. I have something to say about this. So we're gonna get into like what they said too, but there's a lot. The main reason I want to reiterate the main reason that he made this executive order. So there was a lot of people that got in trouble for preventing people from going into like abortion clinics or Planned Parenthood or like women's clinics because they think abortion is bad. And I'm not here to debate whether abortion is bad or not because I don't care what you do with your body. I don't care what anybody does with their body. But what I am saying is that there is a law that says that you cannot block the entrance and you have to stay like fucking, I don't know, what is it, like 85 feet?
It was like 6. Is it?
Some
60.
places it's 85, some places it's 60 feet. There's like an actual fucking
I
like.
thought it was just you're not allowed to block actual entrance to the building. I didn't know there
There's
was like
there's a square area around the front of that door that you technically cannot protest in because it's considered blocking the entrance for anybody trying to enter. It's considered blocking for emergencies and emergency vehicles. You cannot be within that square. As long as you are outside of the square, it is technically public property and there is nothing anybody can do about it. You are welcome there. But if you're within that square, cops have all right to arrest you because you are obstructing an entryway to a clinic that could save lives.
Yes.
So
Yeah, the cops probably agree with him though.
There's actually a lot of cops that arrested people and that were doing it. And Trump actually, when he first got in office, he pardoned a lot of them. Like
Of course he did.
There was like an 82-year-old lady that was a Holocaust survivor, and she was been arrested like 16 times for blocking the entrance for fucking like protests and shit. It was wild to read about. I was like, this is fucking absurd. Like, you of all people, you alone of all people should understand why this is not okay.
The lady who founded Planned Parenthood was very fond of Hitler.
Yeah, that's fair as well, but I don't know. It's all fucked.
Also, the original founding of Planned Parenthood was to make black people kill their kids, pretty much.
That's also facts. Open a history book. It says it in there.
That's
Planned
not really in
Parenthood
a history book.
No, Planned Parenthood's definitely better now, but it was definitely founded for the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the original founder was a heavy supporter of Hitler.
Yes, but they have.
Most of our stuff come from Hitler doctors too, though. Like a lot of our scientific research comes from that too. So like, yes, it's awful, but what do we do? Do we just eradicate all of that evidence that like all of the scientific evidence and stuff that we've discovered and just never talk
I mean,
about
they
it
are
anymore?
they're getting rid of medical things that were founded
I
by.
Yeah. I
They're
know.
renaming it,
As
which I'm
long as
okay
you
with.
turn it and use it for good, I guess I'm not really upset. But yeah, so that was a big reason why this executive order actually got passed and why the task force was put into effect, was because of dumb shit like that, like them getting physical with people that were just going in there for like not even abortions. Like these people weren't even pregnant. Like some of them were, yeah, of course.
We gotta get a pap smear.
Yeah, like gotta get a
Yeah.
pap smear or just get like tested for STDs or some shit like that. Like,
And it's also cheap women's healthcare. It's not just like specific things. Like you can just go there for a regular OBGYN appointment.
yeah,
Like they're OBs.
If I went
You
there
know.
and they tried to stop me going in, I'd just start aggressively itching my crotch and be like, guys.
I have crabs.
The crabs are at it.
Please let me in. I have crabs.
They're trying to like hug them and shit.
Do the sniff test. Oh God.
Oh my God. All right. The podcast has gone too fucking far now. Fucking sniff test. That's fucked.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we have articles for the first three of these that are pretty fucked.
Well, I don't have one for the Navy SEAL one because that one's kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, we have
That
articles
one
for the
tells
first two.
everything.
We're gonna run through
Yeah.
the majority of them and just kind of talk about them real quick. 'Cause some of them are like, okay, that's kind of bullshit, or oh, okay, well, whatever. But the big two that I have a problem with are the ones we have articles for, because I was like, what the fuck? So Michael Ferris, First Amendment literature or legator and founding president of Patrick Henry College. Ferris spoke on behalf of the senior pastor Gary Hamrick to discuss how Cornerstone Church was under investigation and charged by the IRS. I'm not gonna fucking for so-called Johnson Amendment violations. We're going to get to that. Ferris is an elder at the church, previously led Alliance Defending Freedom, and served as a counsel on this case. So, the Johnson Amendment. If you don't know what the Johnson Amendment is, the Johnson Amendment is a provision in the U.S. tax code since 1954 that prohibits all non-profit organizations. So if you don't know, churches are all considered non-profit organizations, which means they don't have to pay taxes.
Even though they do profit.
What?
Even though they do profit.
Mm-hmm. From endorsing or opposing political candidates such as any political candidate. It doesn't matter on who. But basically, so that is what they got charged with, because these people were charged with violating the Johnson Amendment, which means that they are endorsing.
They're giving campaign money.
Yeah, they're either giving campaign money or something along those lines for a political candidate, which is fucked.
I
because
couldn't find who, though.
Well, of course
I
you're
couldn't
not going to
find
find
who.
who. But I imagine if you look when it happened, which was what, 2021 is when they 2023
think- Yeah,
one of them. It was
23, I
either
think.
21 or 23 where they actually got it started being looked at, which so you can just kind of assume, right? But
We don't like to assume here. We like all the facts.
we like all the facts. I don't have a receipt for that, but yeah, so
couldn't
basically
find
they were giving money to probably a campaign or a political figure, which is wrong, because there should be a strong line, like a big bold line that separates church and state. There is no room in the states for government, or not for government, but for religion. That is how you get a theocracy or a hierarchy, and we don't want that.
Oh!
What?
Cults.
Oh, I was like, what the hell did you just yell? Yeah, cults. That's how you get a fucking cult. MAGA. Anyway, do you want to read the next one?
Dr. Scott Hicks, the provost and chief academic officer of Liberty University. So Hicks described at this meeting how Liberty University and Grand Canyon University were singled out by the Biden administration for fines due to the school's Christian worldview. So, I'm going to read the AI summary of these articles down here. That essentially says that Grand Canyon University, the country's largest Christian university, was fined $37.7 million for allegedly misleading students about the cost of its graduate programs. And then Liberty University was fined $37 million for alleged underreporting of crimes. Now, all of the articles I was reading were just talking about Grand Canyon University. I believe that's the bigger of them and the more important one. Yeah, they were telling students that their admission was $20,000 to $49,000, and then charging them $10,000 to $12,000 extra over what was originally told to them, which is a blatant, it's a blatant lie. Like, you signed up for a certain amount and you're being charged more. I couldn't find anything. It said that in January of 2025 they were supposed to have a trial. I cannot find anything about that. I can just find where they were fined and where the lawsuit originally started, which was back in November, but I cannot find anything, any update as of January. And there's nothing talking about Liberty University's hiding of crime or underreporting of crime. It's a university. I can use my brain cells and rub them together real fast and tell you what I think it is, which is most likely rapes on campus, because those are the highest crimes reported or not reported on campuses all over the U.S. So that is most likely what it is. I don't have proof. It doesn't talk about it, unfortunately. The only time that Liberty University is actually mentioned is here in the AI main report, and one other time saying that it is ironic that both universities are being charged the same amount, or fined the same amount of money at the same time. They find that suspicious, and that is why they think that it is just Christian based and not actually, it has no merit, essentially. But I mean, come on. If the universities are lying to their students, they don't deserve that, and they deserve to be treated fairly, and I can't imagine what crimes they're hiding.
Now, you're probably wondering, why are these two getting looked at and investigated by the Anti-Christian Bias Task Force? Well, the reason is because they claim that they're getting fined and sued for the $37.7 million for both, that it's because of their Christian views. It's not in any way, shape, or form. The reasons that we just read off are the reasons why they are getting fined, and it's actually it's ridiculous. There's no reason that these two should be involved with the Anti-Christian Task Force when the reasons why they're being fined isn't because they're Christian. It's because they're fucking shitty. That's the reason why. So, hey Mix, how's it going? Thanks for jumping in. It's ridiculous. The fact that they're lying to all their students about how much it is for them to graduate, and then because they're hiding crimes. That's not very Christian. So I don't get it. It's ridiculous. So.
Well, they don't want those crimes reported, Doug, because it'll make them look bad.
Exactly. It's just disgusting. It's wild to me that.
And then they won't be able to charge you more for tuition and not tell you about it if no one wants to go there, because they might get raped.
Right. Yeah. It's disgusting. But
the funny thing is, one of the articles I was going through, it does say that even with the lawsuits and the fining, it has not stopped people from enrolling. They are still receiving up to anywhere from 10,000 to 12,000 applicants a fucking year.
Well, that's because they're lying, though. They're lying. They're saying that they're being attacked by their Christian because of their Christian views, not the fact that they're lying about or misleading students about the cost of its graduation, or Liberty University. They're hiding the reports of crimes, like, or underreporting of crimes. Sorry. And like that's why they haven't got affected by like the people signing up for their tuition, because they're just claiming that their Christian views are getting attacked. It's fucking bullshit. So I don't know. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous and in the highest standard. So I don't know. That's my personal take on it. I guess I don't know. Like it has nothing to do with Christianity on why these people. And honestly, I might even take that a step further. That the whole can you go back real quick? The whole anti-Christian bias task force bullshit that we're talking about right here, I don't think it honestly has anything to do with Christianity. Nobody's attacking their fucking religion, even though that as soon as anybody disagrees with like any of them, they're like, "Oh no, you hate me because I'm Christian." No, I hate you because you're a piece of shit. That's why like you're hated. It's because you're a piece of shit. I don't know. That's my whole thing. Like, I don't understand what's so hard about having a thick, bold line between church and state. That's how it should be. Like, I don't care if you have Christian morals either. Like, if you have Christian morals, if you're a Christian in general, that's fine. Don't push your belief on other people. Like, that's shitty as fuck. I am a happy in believing in my old gods and like paganism and whatever, right? I'm not running around forcing my beliefs of Odin and everybody down your throat. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept to not do with your religion. You know what I mean? And that's my whole thing with this whole anti-Christian bullshit. Like, nobody's attacking the religion, and it's clear. It's clear. If you look at the articles that they're looking at, or even go a step further, like that are reported and they want to fucking yell about, like the whole reason the executive order of 14202 was put into place, like the people that are blocking, right, or the people that are protesting at abortion clinics, they're not just peacefully protesting. They're fucking shoving people, they're screaming at people, they're blocking the entrance, they're fucking just getting nasty. That's not that's not Christian behavior, right? Thou shalt not judge, right? That's like a whole fucking thing there. See, now we need fucking Asdiel on right now. You fucking talk about it again, but like that's a whole ass thing. Is like that's you're not even holding your own fucking religion. So like you're just there, what, being a fucking nuisance or an asshole because they don't agree with you?
You're not the judge, jury, and executioner in the Christian religion. You're supposed to let everyone do their own thing and let God judge them.
Exactly.
You're supposed to love thy neighbor regardless of sin.
So I don't know, that it's just overall frustrating with the whole category of of all this, and like they all roughly run the same. Like Phil Mendez, Navy SEAL, he's bitching about the COVID-19 vaccine, and he wants to throw in because the left was calling everybody fucking murderers and shit, which is bullshit. Because at the same time, like, cool, if you want to get the vaccine, get the vaccine. I don't care. I don't want the vaccine, and I have my own reason why I don't want the vaccine. And nobody cares about my reasons why I don't want the vaccine. Just know I'm not sticking it in my body. But like having this,
I didn't want it until sufficient human like research had been done on what it can do long term.
Exactly.
They rolled out with this shit and they were like, "Put this in your arm or else."
Right.
That's the only thing that upset me. Like it's my choice what I put in my body.
Right. No, and I completely agree with that. It's just like it's not. We're not attacking Christians in this whole thing. Like it, not once. I don't think. I mean, I imagine there's extremists on every side. Of course there is. It's just how it goes in reality nowadays. But like the normal Joe Smo and fucking Ann Smith over here, they're not fucking attacking the Christian views. They're just pissed off because you are pushing your belief system on them, and then claiming that if you don't follow this, then they're gonna burn in hell, or fucking they deserve to die, or some awful shit that somebody has to fucking say. And I feel like, both sides would just be like, hey, you do you, and hey, you do you too. I feel like the world would be like a 30 fucking times better place, dude. Like hands down. I don't know. That's my whole fucking spielio, I guess. I try not to go on overly high rants, but this fucking frustrates me a little bit. So, yeah. You can scroll down or go to the next one. Okay, and we've got anything to add to that? You want to talk about it more? We can scroll down a little bit if you want. Talk about some
No,
more.
I don't. I don't. I hate this. This is very unconstitutional. It's very just. It's infringing on just life in general. Like, it's nobody's business.
Right. Like I said, I don't
It's just
understand
annoying.
why we have to force other people to believe the same shit we do. Like the Constitution was built on that. So.
I've never once told somebody that they need to go and believe in Odin. I've never once told somebody that they need to go believe in the Mother Maiden and the Crone. Not once. And I don't know why it's got to be done to me.
Exactly. So.
Oh my. Okay.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, cause the there it is. Sorry, I couldn't find the title.
You got this.
I didn't remember a video being right there. I can, yeah. The United States wants you to leave. Unaccompanied migrant kids are being forced to attend deportation hearings alone. A New York immigration judge presided over a group of a dozen children to explain to them why they might have to leave the country. Unaccompanied migrant children as young as 4, which is my son's age, and looking at him is just, I couldn't imagine him sitting in front of a judge being asked all of these questions.
Yeah.
But are being forced to attend deportation hearings alone. A growing number of migrant children are having to make immigration court appearances by themselves without the presence of an attorney, which lawyers warn will lead to more children getting deported. In one case this week, highlighted by the outlet, a New York immigration judge presided over a group of a dozen children to explain to them why they might have to leave the country. The children were in a shelter in the city while the hearing took place via video. The children included a 7-year-old boy, an 8-year-old girl, and her 4-year-old sister. The parents were not present and they did not have attorneys. The reason we're here is because the government of the United States wants you to leave the United States. Who says that?
Right. That is shitty as fuck.
Like, oh my god, there's got to be such a better way to not make these children feel like shit. And unwanted.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. Which is
it
also
really is.
super unconstitutional as well. But
well, it depends on what you mean is unconstitutional, because it was determined back in 2017, 2018 by the Supreme Court that we do not owe immigrant children or any immigrants the right to a court-appointed attorney. And children do not have the right to an attorney or their parents residing next to them in the middle of these hearings. We do not owe them that.
and that's ridiculous and
So
disgusting.
you've legally proven that they're not U.S. citizens, innocent until proven guilty. They have a right to legal representation.
And due process.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're just covering more.
But they're
fucking...
slightly browner than me, so it's a bad problem, you know.
Yeah. I
Their last name's Cortez. Problem. They need deported.
See, here's my thing, right? Is like, I couldn't. If I was sitting in a judge position and like you brought a fucking 5-year-old in, I would look at him and be
I
like,
would be one of those judges and be like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
yeah, exactly. Like I'd be like, what
I
the
don't
fuck
wanna
is
deal with
this,
this.
man? Like, no, dude. Like, leave him alone, man. Oh, dude, I don't know. It
Right?
fucks me off. It really does.
And then you go to jail.
Yeah, because if you don't fucking follow what Trump says, guess what? Fucking jail time for you too.
Like, trying to sit down and have a conversation with our kid when he does something bad and he starts to, like, his bottom lip starts to quiver and he starts to tear up, I'm like, dude, I want this conversation to fucking end. How do you do that and tell them that the United States wants you to fuck off?
I
Yeah.
guarantee you, either that judge is a terrible person or he got out of that courtroom and drank an entire bottle of alcohol and cried to himself.
I understand having to do your job. I feel like there could have been such a better way to say that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I would have
I would have literally just been like, "Hey,
I got to intervene on that. The whole "you have to do your job" act, I fucking hate that. All right, I'm just doing my job.
I know.
No, police say that shit when they do something fucking stupid. It pisses me off too. No, you everybody has morals, right? Everybody in this world, you cannot tell anybody that doesn't have morals, right? Somebody has bestowed on you, whether it be your parents, your religion. I don't care what one it is, right? I don't care. But everybody knows right and wrong, and you can't sit here and tell me that the judge looking at that kid and saying all this fucking bullshit to a fucking child that he can't be like, yeah, no, I'm not saying this. That's fucked. You find another judge. I'm not kicking this kid out of the States. I'm not doing that. No. No. This guy, piece of shit. I hope he does drink himself to fucking sleep every night, because I hope he can't sleep. So that's my whole fucking thing. I don't wish negative on anybody either, but I fuck that guy because he's a fucking prick. Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969.
It feels like a power play with this. It's my job to figure out if you have to leave. It's also my job to figure out if you should stay. Like, that's just embodying your power over these children.
Power corrupts indefinitely. You give one man power that usually doesn't have it, he is going to abuse it and use it every chance you get. That's why there's a problem with police officers. That's why there's a problem with judges. That's why there's a problem with our fucking president right now. So, and everywhere in between. It's just how it is.
At the beginning of the hearing, Ul Haq, who is the judge, sighed as he spoke into his microphone at the virtual hearing. The court does have some very young respondents, and we will endure as we try to explain it as best as possible. The judge explained to the children that they had the right to find an attorney and would be required to tell the court if their address has changed. How is a 5-year-old going to find an attorney?
One smart-ass fucking 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I guess.
Parents aren't allowed helping him. The kid's not gonna get an attorney. It's clear. I don't.
Right.
That's just added in there to make him look better.
Right. Adjusted his language to be kid-friendly, explaining in detail what a right is and what asylum is. They are quite young, so I'll be going slow and trying to explain everything I said. Ulhak said to a Spanish interpreter who was helping the children. Did you see the video of them putting those tiny-ass headphones on that 5-year-old boy as he's sitting there alone? Like,
yeah,
very hard.
They are putting these children through so much, and that's one thing that'll get me fired up. You start fucking with kids, start fucking with the Constitution, I'm gonna get fucking pissed off. All right, because it's simple. Just leave the fucking kids alone, man. I don't understand. Like, fucking pisses me off.
So it comes as the Trump administration ended a contract that provides legal help to migrant children entering the country without a parent or guardian, raising concerns that children will be forced to navigate the complex legal system alone. The Acacia Center for Justice contracts with the government to provide legal services through its network of providers around the country to unaccompanied migrant children under 18, both by providing direct legal representation as well as conducting legal orientations, often referred to as Know Your Rights clinics, to migrant children who cross the border alone and are in federal government shelters. The network of legal aid groups that subcontracts with the center, which is not a plaintiff, sued arguing that 26,000 children were at risk of losing their attorneys. Those groups argue that the government has an obligation under 2008 anti-trafficking law to provide vulnerable children with legal counsel. See, all of this just goes against, I didn't know about that, 2008 anti-trafficking law. But I don't understand how that 2017 thing doesn't negate that, because that right there is not only for immigrants, that's for American children that were saved from trafficking rings, were saved from kidnapping situations, whatever.
Right.
So it's so fucking, it just all contradicts itself. Judge, I'm gonna fuck this up. Araceli Martinez Olguin of San Francisco granted a temporary restraining order on April 1st. She wrote that advocates raised legitimate questions about whether the administration violated the 2008 law, warranting a return to the status quo while this case continues. Immigration campaigners said the children are already suffering the consequences. It's extremely concerning because it's leaving these kids without really important support, said Elaine Goes, who heads Acacia's unaccompanied children program. They're often in a very vulnerable position. The U.S. Department of Justice said earlier this month that the government is still funding legally required activities such as the Know Your Rights clinics, and that legal clinics can offer their services without charge. So do the pro bono work, but that's on you, essentially. If you care enough, you can do it. If you don't, well, they're fucked.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It gets me a little fired up.
I don't know how you look at a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old, even the 8-year-old. I don't know how you look at them and go, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm going to tell you to fuck off.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
I can't even properly sit down and have a punishment conversation with ours because his little bottom lip quivers and I'm done. Like I'm a useless parent after that. I couldn't do it to someone else's kid either. It's fucking. Here we go again. This one's about a 2-year-old. Which this one's a little. I don't know. This one's. It's a little bit more than what the title makes it sound like. Judge says a 2-year-old U.S. citizen appears to have been deported with no meaningful process. She was deported Friday with her mother back to Honduras, despite her father's efforts to keep her in the U.S. A federal judge is raising alarms that the Trump administration deported a 2-year-old U.S. citizen to Honduras with no meaningful process, even as the child's father was frantically petitioning the courts to keep her in the country. U.S. District Judge Terry Doty, a Trump appointee, said the child identified in court papers by the initials BML appeared to have been released in Honduras earlier Friday, along with her Honduran-born mother and sister who had been detained by immigration officials earlier in the week. On Friday, a scheduled hearing for May 16th. On Friday, the judge scheduled a hearing for May 16th, which he said was in the interest of dispelling our strong suspicion that the government has just deported a U.S. citizen with meaningful process.
No meaningful.
The child who's Huh?
You skipped no. There's just no meaningful process. It's all good. I just wanted to.
Sorry, I read too fast. Shit. Okay. The child whose redacted U.S. birth certificate was filed in court and showed she was born in New Orleans in 2023 had been with her mother and sister during a regular immigration check-in in the New Orleans Office of Immigration and Customs Enforcement on Tuesday. Officials there detained them and queued them up for deportation. So, like, they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. They were showing up to their check-ins and they got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Which is ridiculous because...
For the crime of looking Hispanic.
That's literally the crime. It's not even a crime, but that's like what we're going off of now. This is wild.
Like, how can you be outside of the office just taking people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing?
I just want to throw this out here as well. So, not to keep comparing fucking Orange Messiah Man to the Austrian Voldemort, but this is
they're identical.
Yeah. So this is a tactic that was used back in World War I and World War II with Germany. So basically, this country is pissed off, and we're talking about Germany, right? But so think about Germany and think about the United States at the same time, right? It's hard to do, not really, but so Hitler, he rallied his country because it was a country in need. It was a country that was poor. They were starving. Lots of unhappy people in the country, right? That's like the whole thing, right? Now think of America, right? People are struggling to survive. Fucking minimum wage sucks. Everybody's working themselves to death for, I mean, we get paid, but there's families out there starving. There's plenty of homeless, right? So a man comes in, right, and goes, I know how to fix this problem, right? And we're going to blame One person, right? One person is the problem. It's their fault, right? In Hitler's case, it was the Jews. In our case, you can see this is the tactic that is being.
Well, actually, Hitler started with anyone that was disabled,
Yes,
and then
yes, he did.
slowly went up to. He started a registry for disabled people, and then went up to. All right, it's the Jews' fault.
Right. So
We're just speedrunning months of what Hitler did in like weeks.
and
Is essentially what this is.
that's the tactic that is being used right now. And there's not enough people that will open up a fucking history book and like learn enough from
They use
history.
fear mongering.
Yes, fear mongering. Yeah, he's using fear mongering tactics. It's the whole nine, right? We're at the point now, right, where everybody's loading up in the train cars, right? Only now we're loading them up in C-130s and flying them to El Salvador. It's just ridiculous that we have gone this far, and here we are, right? We didn't learn a fucking thing from history. And if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And it has been proven time and time again, and here we are. Right? That's my whole take on it. Before anybody bitches, I am an anarchist. That is my thing, right? I'm an anarchist. I believe people deserve the rights to live and do whatever the fuck they want to do, as long as you're not hindering somebody else's pursuit to happiness. I don't care what you fucking do. I feel like I need to reiterate that. So I'm not right wing, left wing, or center. I want no government. Government is bad. Don't need 535 people telling me how to live my life. I also don't believe that 535 people need to be told or be telling what how many people are in the United States anymore? Fucking 568 billion, I think, or 56 billion. One of those two numbers, right? I looked it up.
I think it's
When we first started the podcast. Doesn't matter. I don't take charge of your own life. Live your life how you want to live, right? This government that we're dealing with now, hopefully it will get better. But as of right now, it's not, and it's disgusting, and innocent children are being affected, and that's disgusting. And there's not enough people that are pissed off about it, and there's not enough people that read enough history and see the process that we're going down. And even though there are minor differences between what Mustache Man did and the Orange Messiah is doing, it's still a fucking problem. I don't know. I can't have the answer for everybody to fix this problem. I don't ever think I will. But you got to just take care of your neighbors, and you got to defend your neighbors and protect your neighbors. And that's sounds very Christian-like, but it's localism at its finest. You take care of your own, take care of your community. That's the only thing you can do. And if enough people stand up, one day maybe things will get better. But that is the only way. Don't fall for the dividing tactic bullshit that they are trying. Don't fall for the fear-mongering. Don't fall for this bullshit fucking stuff that is going on, all right? And like, this is the big thing. Like, divided, we will never amount to nothing. Together, the possibilities are endless. And that's the big thing to take from this, I guess, my little speech here. I don't know. I hate seeing this. I really do. Like, it disgusts me to the core, especially that, like, 2-year-olds are getting ripped from their fucking father's arms and getting shipped somewhere, who knows where, you know what I mean? Who knows where? Like, I don't know what's going on in what, Honduras? Is that
Honduras?
Honduras? I don't know what's going on over there. But there's a reason why people come here illegally, right? And that's because the process is fucking fucked, but they're trying to escape something, whether that be poverty, whether that be fucking warmongering dictators, whether that be warlords. You'll look at it from any aspect, right? That is the big picture, right? They're not coming here to rain havoc. I'm not saying there's not extremists, right? There's extremists and everything. But the majority of people that are coming here illegally are just trying to get to a safe place. And I'm not saying we have to open up our arms to everybody, but what I am saying is the people that are just trying to come here and live peacefully and not, do whatever everybody thinks they're doing. It's fucking common sense, I guess. And the fact that this shit's going on and the Orange Messiah is doing it, it's like fucking Christ. And I say it almost every episode. Open up a fucking history book. You'll learn so much, and you'll start putting the pieces together. It's clear. It's crystal clear when you start putting the pieces together, and you're just I don't know. I guess that's my problem. Is like it disgusts me to my fucking core, and I don't know. So yeah, there you go. I've had 2 rants, so my viewers don't have to yell at me when I'm at work. Hey, thanks, Mix. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's my whole spielio, I guess.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Because, like, that 2-year-old has a U.S. birth certificate. She could have been left with her father, who was willing to take her, but they didn't give him a chance. And it's because Trump administration officials said in court that the mother told ICE officials that she wished to take VML with her to Honduras. And the filing included a handwritten note in Spanish they claimed was written by the mother and confirmed her intent. But the judge said he had hoped to verify that information. The government contends that this is all okay because the mother wishes that the child be deported with her, Doty wrote, but the court
but if
doesn't
he's
know
got
that.
an American motherfucking citizenship, he should have been kept with his dad, right? Because we care about citizens.
We say that,
which
but
that's a good point though.
Trump's talking about sending homegrowns over to El Salvador too, so it's like you're not going to win. Basically,
Pretty much, they want ethnic cleansing. They just want America to be all white people, pretty much.
And it's disgusting.
And they did all that bullshit with the SAVE Act, saying that the U.S. birth certificate's enough to fucking be able to vote, but this right here shows it's not enough to not get deported.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? And there's so much talk, right, about fucking all the negative shit that people are saying about Trump. Well, guess what? Like, people wouldn't be saying negative shit if you actually, right? Besides all the immigration
you didn't
bullshit,
do stupid shit.
Exactly. That's basically what I'm saying. If you're not doing stupid shit, then people probably wouldn't say all the mean, nasty shit that people are saying
I
about
probably
you.
still would.
I mean, yeah, he's fucking.
I probably still would.
He's an
The TV show and the fact that he is who he is, yeah, I'd still make fun of him.
Yeah, well, fuck him either way. But it's the point, I don't know. It's stupid as fuck.
The fat orange with his fake hair.
Mm-hmm.
Draft dodging with his bone spurs. Fucking coward.
Yep.
Been suckling off his daddy's cock since he was born.
Lawyers with the father made emergency petitions to try to seek VML's immediate release from ICE custody and a declaration that the girl's detention had been unlawful. The petition was filed under the name of Trish Mack, who the lawyers indicated had been asked by VML's father to act as a child's custodian and take her from ICE custody. Lawyers for the Guardian told the court that VML's father had been attempting to contact the girl's mother to discuss plans for their child, but ICE officials denied him the chance to have a substantive phone call. He says ICE allowed the two to speak for about a minute on Tuesday while the mother was in ICE custody, but that they were unable to make any meaningful decisions about their child.
That's wild to me too. Like, you imagine that? Like, I couldn't imagine you getting ripped away from me and then I'm allowed having a minute conversation with you, but while you're like getting shipped somewhere the fuck out, like that'd be fucking wild.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. Oh man, I feel for this guy. Like, that's fucking terrible. Like,
with your child, and I can't even tell you
with your 2 children.
What I actually want. Yeah. But I can't even tell you like what I actually want to have. I don't think the older child was born in America. I think that's why there's such an uproar over the 2-year-old, because she was born in America with a U.S. birth certificate. So she is a U.S. citizen. I don't think her older sister is.
Doesn't matter. Like, you're ripping
I'm
a
saying,
family
though,
apart right
like,
now. Like,
you are, and it's fucked up.
This is another thing too, that this shows the hypocrisy. What is that? Hypocritical I'm gonna say hypocrisy, even though I don't think that's right.
Yeah, you're right. No,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
right.
Well, this shows the hypocrisy of the administration, right? They're over here pushing all this Christian morals and oh, we want to fucking what is it? The old school family households with a mother and a father and the whole thing, right? Well, he just took that and ripped this away from this family. So like, sit
Well, we
here.
can't do that anyways with your fucking economy, because wife got to work to make it.
Facts. That's also facts. So it's just ridiculous. Like it's a bunch of hypocrisy. Is all this is, and yeah. So it's just another fucking drop in the bucket of bullshit that the Orange Messiah is doing, and the followers are just running with. And what I mean by followers,
But
I
earlier
mean
today,
his
in a
entire cabinet
post,
of loyalists.
Trump supporters, half of them are just brainwashed, and the other half are just genuinely terrible human beings.
Yep.
As a U.S. citizen, BML is likely to have the ability to return to the U.S., citing her case apart from others that have drawn national attention in recent weeks, such as Kilmore Abrego Garcia, the Salvadorian native that was deported to a prison in his home country in violation of a 2019 immigration court order. Doty said he attempted to investigate the emergency matter himself on Friday, seeking to get VML's mother on the phone to determine whether ICE's representation about her desire to bring VML to Honduras was accurate. The judge said he was independently aware that the plane he believed was carrying the family was already above the Gulf of America.
It's
Trump
the Gulf
administration
of Mexico,
lawyers.
but it's fine.
I know, it's a misprint, I'm sorry. Trump administration lawyers called the judge back Friday afternoon and said a phone call with the mother would not be possible because she and presumably VML had just been released in Honduras, Doty wrote. Doty then scheduled the May hearing. That just talks about where he's based. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, 2 years old. Like, just, I guess at least she's not alone.
It's gross.
I couldn't imagine deporting a 2-year-old to a country she has no idea even exists on her own.
Right.
I gotta get this video.
All right, so we got a video real quick. We're only playing a part of it.
Hopefully it can be heard. All right, here we go.
The women, between the fertilization and all of the other things that we're talking about, it's going to be great. We're joined today. Fertilization. I'm still very proud of it. I don't care. I'll be known as the fertilization president. That's okay.
I hate the way he says fertilization. I'm just gonna point that out.
Yeah.
The fucking spine-crawling grossness I just got from that. I fucking hate the way he said that.
Yep. So, this is talking about him being the fertilization president, whatever the fuck, dude. Arrogant prick stats, that's all I'm hearing. Anyway, although I like this, I guess, kinda, not really. Some of it I like, some of it I don't. I think there's parts of it that are okay. I don't think they should be trying to force people to have children. That's a big fuck you no. But like, yes, I firmly believe that the state should help with like people having kids, like new mothers. So we're just gonna jump in this article real quick. So $5,000 scholarships, medals. Why Trump is pushing women to have more babies. That sounded gross when it came out of my mouth. But, so yeah, he is trying to get people to have more children, which is fine. I don't care if people have kids. Like, if you want to have a child, go for it. If you want to adopt, go for it. You should be helped in every way possible. I firmly believe that. Yeah. So basically, they're talking about a one-time $5,000 payment for every new mother. Scholarship benefits reserving 30% of the Fulbright scholarship for married applicants or parents. A National Motherhood Medal, which is a symbolic recognition for women with 6 or more children. IVF subsidies, enhances access to vitro fertilization. Did I say that right?
Wait, so
Yeah,
they're gonna
it's
give
just
moms who have 6 or more children medals.
Yeah, dude, you're halfway
like
there.
Hitler.
You're so fucking funny.
No, because Toby only has 2 technically. He's not a mother,
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
and he can't
Are you
change.
are you assuming my?
I was gonna say you can't change your gender identity anymore to accept that medal. So sorry.
Yeah, Trump fixed that too. Fucking stupid. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So this is. Oh, everybody needs to have babies, and I'm a firm believer. Like, if you want to have kids, cool, go for it. If you want to adopt, cool, go for it. I think the $5,000 payment, awesome. Yeah, throw them that. But that's nothing.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
though.
like that's
Yeah.
nothing. It says in the article that it's gonna like offset like a month or two of like child care. It is not.
No,
it's not.
it won't. It won't even come near to touching on anything because giving birth in general is 30,000 at like minimum.
Mm-hmm.
They charged me for holding my child, for putting him against my skin, doing skin to skin. They charged me like $300 for holding the child I made. Like,
Right.
that's not going to cover a goddamn thing when they're charging you for everything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm like I said, I'm a firm believer. If people have kids, go for it. Have all the kids you want, I guess. I also feel that like, you know, if they do want to give baby bonuses, that's sweet. You know, sure, it's a good incentive. The scholarships are cool. I feel like IVF subsidies are also like a fantastic fucking move there. But guess where those are like a thing at? Like fucking Planned Parenthood. So like the Christians are gonna have to get really fucking cool about people going into like Planned Parenthood and women clinics and shit. But you know, whatever.
Oh, their own sets of Planned Parenthoods are popping up. There's a bulletin board in Pocatello for a Christian Planned Parenthood. I don't remember what it's called, but it gives the same things as Planned Parenthood, except if you read the bottom, it says that it gives you talking points on why you should keep your kid. And that they're not an abortion clinic, but they do everything else that Planned Parenthood does, except it's a Christian keep your child or go to hell clinic.
So they're also offering menstrual cycle education, which is a government-funded program to educate women on ovulation patterns. So,
Do you know why? Do you know why? Hold on. Do you know why they want to offer that?
No.
They think that women not having children is because we don't know when we ovulate. We don't know what ovulation is. We don't know the cycles. We don't have an understanding of our own bodies enough, so we need to be educated on how to look for ovulation.
That's wild to me.
I will say it is very bare minimum education, because a lot of parents don't like to talk to their children about any of that stuff. And schools are up in the air on whether or not they can have sex ed anymore. So it is very, like, rudimentary knowledge on the menstrual cycle, but the government believes you, as a woman, do not understand when you ovulate, and that is why you're not having children, because you're not having sex at the right times.
Yeah.
Just
all this is wild.
that's
I think the proposals are a phenomenal idea if you want to have a child. Cool. Like, you want to give fucking scholarship benefits? Hell yeah. A national medal of motherhood? I mean, I guess. That doesn't bother me, I guess. The IVF subsidies, the menstrual cycle education, I guess. Yeah, like, by all means, have it. If you want to have a baby, use everything that can possibly help you, because having children sucks. They're expensive little fuckers, man. But, yeah, like, it's by all means. Devin knows. Devin's had a handful.
I have 3 kids, you fuck.
I gotta give him shit on that. He's not Mormon, but I call him Mormon for it.
You are above average on the amounts of children that are had anymore. So, yeah, it is very odd.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So, I mean, by all means, like, I think the key proposals are cool, but I don't think we should push having
I don't know.
a child, and especially in today's economy. This economy sucks ass. 7% interest rates on houses right now. Gasoline's climbing. Eggs are about to start climbing again, which we have an article on. Or no, we have prices today, which are actually lower than last 2 weeks ago, because we skipped last week's episode. But yeah, like
I want to fight you a little bit on this. I disagree.
on the key proposals.
Yes.
Oh, okay, let's run it. I'm not going to debate you. I just think, like, the only reason I say that is I think that if you want to have a child, you should have every possible chance to help you get a child. And I think a baby bonus one-time payment is kind of cool. I think you should get that for every child, not just because you're a fucking new mother. Scholarship benefits. I mean, yeah, if you want to help get somebody in your family a better job, then by all means, I think that's a good thing. I just don't think that we should be trying to force people to have children. So that's my whole ass point on it there.
I agree with that. Do not force people to have children, because there are a lot of people that should not have children, and there are a lot of people that need to stop having children, because it's just, they bitch about fucking SNAP benefits, they bitch about the foster care system, they bitch about adoption and all this shit, but they are encouraging people who are not fit or in a position to be parents with this stuff. And it's the amount of neglect and abuse that's going to rise because they can get a scholarship, or they can get $5,000 payments that they can put into their veins. Like, it's shit like that. It's not it. They want a baby boom, but they don't care what happens with the baby.
Okay.
The scholarship for married applicants or parents. That bothers me, because that's encouraging marriage as well. That's encouraging marriage for newly 18-year-olds who are just getting out of high school going, fuck, what am I going to do? My parents can't pay. Oh, I can get married to this girl and get a scholarship because I'm following American traditions. That's dangerous. It's also dangerous for abusive partners. It's dangerous. And with the some states now shutting down no-fault divorce, and it's trying to become a federal thing where you cannot divorce your partner for any reason, especially as a woman. It's dangerous. You can't get out of that marriage. And at 18, like, I wish we would have waited a couple years.
That's fair.
To actually get the marriage certificate, because we would have been a little bit more set.
Yeah.
We could have had a bigger one. We could have done more things we wanted to do. It was a little bit rushed. And to expect 18-year-olds who look at that and go, fuck, I can get a nice little scholarship if I get married, that's pushing for bad shit to happen. It's pushing for bad.
I can see that. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that fully. There's
the medal of
bad
motherhood.
As well. I'm not even going to touch that one. I just, whatever.
6 or more children is fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. That is a lot of mouths to feed. And that mom can't work. She's got 6 mouths to feed. How are you supposed to have 2 working parents making enough to put 6 kids in a daycare? It's $40,000 for one child in daycare on average. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
That's almost what you make in a year.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
6 times. How the fuck are you supposed to make that happen? Even on a 2-income, daycare's completely out of the question. You cannot pay for 6 kids in daycare. And to give a medal, like, for everything that the body goes through during childbirth, to give a fucking medal for that, ooh, I deserve a goddamn statue for that. And I had 1. 6, she deserves an entire fucking garden. Not a fucking medal. It's very, it's very, what's the word? It's very down-putting. It's very, like, looking down on that woman, because it's not actually recognizing anything. it might make some people feel good, but like, fuck, you have 6 kids, that wouldn't make me feel good at all.
Right. I can see that. Hell yeah. I get it.
IVF, like, it's disgusting. That's 6 kids is disgusting. I'm sorry. I don't know who willingly did that, but holy fuck. And where does this lead for people that can't have more kids?
That's fair as well. Yeah.
Like, do we get shunned? Because I can't have any more kids. Am I forced to adopt? Like, what comes to people that can't have more kids now? And that's concerning because it's feeling real Handmaid's Tale to me. IVF wouldn't be under attack if the administration wasn't attacking them. The clinics that provide it, the funding, the CDC recommendations, and the CDC research, if they weren't disabling those programs and defunding shit like that, in vitro would not be being attacked. It would be easily accessible like it already fucking was. But this administration is fucking attacking everything for in vitro. So that's not doing anything. And the menstrual cycle education I already fucking went on about. But I see bad things.
That's fair.
I see bad things with this.
Putting it that way, it
And
kind of definitely opened my eyes a little bit. Like I think a little bit more, I guess. Like I see your points a lot more, and I agree with them.
I think on paper it sounds good, and it could be good. It could be good if I trusted the administration to let it be good. I don't trust the administration to let it be good.
Are you telling me you don't trust the government?
No.
Yeah, because
No,
fuck
honey,
the
I do
government.
not.
Fuck the government.
Yeah. And this fucking sentence right here. My mouse stopped working. Hold on. There we go. This sentence right. Oop. All right. Stop it. Right here. We will support baby booms and we will support baby bonuses for a new baby boom. I want a baby boom, Trump said.
See, we really needed Victor Charlie here to say it with his Trump accent. Should have been fucking fire.
Let's be fair, though. I probably would have puked had he done his super accurate one and said that, because that is disgusting.
Yeah.
That is fucking gross. You should not want people in the economy that you are crashing, the prices you are raising, the gas you are fucking raising, everything you're destroying. You want people to try to raise successful children in this. And the amount of baby deaths and mother deaths that will happen from this baby boom because they're going after this shit that are prizes for having children.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see.
It's bad. It's really bad. And I just really grossed out by that statement. I hate this man. That's all I got on it. I can't. We can move on whenever.
All right, I'm good to move on. I think you covered that really well.
Yeah.
Thanks. This one's fun.
The U.S. FDA suspends milk quality tests.
Sorry.
J.P. Morgan. No. U.S. FDA suspends milk quality tests amid workforce cuts. So, Washington, on April 21st, the Food and Drug Administration is suspending a quality control program for testing of fluid milk and other dairy products due to reduced capacity in its Food Safety and Nutrition Division, according to an internal email seen by I don't know what that is. What is that word?
It's Reuters. It's the name of the
Reuters? I don't
newspaper.
know why. Yeah, well, dyslexia and whatnot.
What's that movie you watched? Civil War?
Oh, yeah, Civil War?
The news reporters that they follow around are Reuters news reporters, which is why I find it kind of crazy that a lot of our articles that we show on this is actually from Reuters.
Huh.
They're very middle ground. they don't try to lean either way. They're very just news and news only. So
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. By
Yeah.
Reuters, the suspension is an oh my god, the suspension is another disruption to the national food safety programs after the termination and departure of 20,000 employees of the Department of Health and Human Services, which includes the FDA as part of President Donald Trump's effort to shrink the federal workforce. You know, if you really wanted to shrink the federal workforce, I can like name a list right now of agencies that you could just get rid of, like the ATF. They're unconstitutional as far as they come. The FBI, you could definitely cut some way back on there. We definitely don't need, or what is it, pastel in there. Oh, the DEA, that's another big one. Get them the fuck out of here. ICE, get rid of those motherfuckers. Anyway.
But see, they only want to. They're only going after the ones that are actually important. You know, like keeping us healthy, keeping us safe, making sure we have information when we need it. If they were to dismantle those ones, they would do what they're doing now with ICE, where they're taking other agents and throwing them into ICE. That is exactly what they would do. They would just rename those and make one big fucking force that can just follow everybody's rules and do whatever the fuck they want. And it's not technically a military, but they could treat it as a military and send it in on private citizens.
There's a book about that by George Orwell.
Hey, look at that. Can't imagine where I got that from.
The FDA this month also suspended. Sorry, choked on my vape.
Don't breathe and swallow.
Yeah, well, the FDA this month also suspended existing and developing programs that ensured accurate testing for bird flu in milk and cheese and other pathogens like the parasite
Cyclospora
and other food products. Effective Monday, this agency suspended its proficiency testing program for grade A raw milk and finished products, according to the email sent in the morning from the FDA's Division of Dairy Safety. Grade A milk or fluid milk meets the highest sanitary standards. The testing program was suspended because the FDA's Morfit Center Proficiency Testing Laboratory, part of the divisions overseeing food safety, is no longer able to provide laboratory support for proficiency testing and data analysis, the email said. So yeah, your milk could be fucking bad. Could have fucking pathogens in it. And you don't want to drink those because they'll make you sick as fuck.
I saw something, there's already 12 people that have been affected, and people bringing in jugs of milk into hospitals and being like, this is how I got sick. Because they drank the milk and they got sick, and then they found whatever that made them sick, which was usually a bacteria of some kind in the milk because it's not being checked anymore.
Yep. But I mean, that's basically that. That's basically the whole article. It goes into like how much he's saving by cutting and whatever.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. Once again, kids are getting sick. People are getting sick. It's gross. We're not getting rid of the right agencies. We're getting rid of all the wrong ones. I'm all for
You know what's
government.
not getting hit with anything?
What?
Oh, sorry.
I'm all for.
You know what's not getting hit?
What's up, dude?
Go ahead. You talk. I'll shut up.
All right. So I am all for the shrinking of government. So like, don't get it confused, because I am an anarchist and I don't believe in the federal government, right? But if you have people out here doing it right, like there's a fucking free trade market, right? That's what I believe in. That'll work the best. We are cutting all the wrong fucking government agencies. We're cutting like the FDA and like that kind of shit. Which I'm not saying the FDA is fucking amazing. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying they are keeping people alive and mildly healthy. Red 40 is disgusting as fuck, but whatever. Don't get me on the dye conversation. But yeah, so like the milk testing and shit like that is one of the last things that should be tested. Like that should not be cut at all. And like I said, by all means, if we wanted to cut like actually unconstitutional agencies and get rid of like acts and shit like that, a big act we could cut is the Patriot Act. That's a big one, especially since we're not fighting the war on terrorism anymore. We're fighting the war on illegals, which is fucking stupid as shit, but it's fine. But yeah, ATF, DEA, fucking FBI, CIA, IRS, they could all just fucking go. Hands down, they could all just go. And like, don't move them to a different fucking agency or don't make a new agency. Just get rid of them completely. So that would be a huge cut, and we'd fucking save trillions of dollars if we cut those agencies and just sold all their tactical gear and all their other bullshit to citizens. But that's just my overall opinion on that.
But fuck your paychecks. You need to pay back your student loans.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Fuck your paycheck. I'm taking some of that, or more of that. Let me just rephrase that. We're taking more of that.
So with what they're cutting out of like the FDA and shit too, is also cutting the part of the organization that prevents people from putting red dye 40 in our foods. You know, the big thing that everybody's bitching about is they're cutting the people that do that prevent companies from being able to put it in or sneak it in. So like that's going backwards. You're gonna end up with red dye again in your fucking food because there's nobody to sit there and regulate them.
Oh yeah.
And there's nobody regulating like McDonald's, you know, like there ain't nothing about our fast food industries, but it's all about like milk and eggs and fucking the ground beef the Chinese sent back.
Yep.
Did you hear about that?
I did. I also
They sent over
it was 200,000 empty fucking cargo containers.
Yeah. Yep, that were supposed to hold shipments, and they were all empty. And when they opened them up, every single one of those 200,000 containers were empty. And then there was it was like 32,000 pounds of beef that was sent back because China's refusing to take anything from us or work with us now.
Well, that's what the orange man wants. Our infrastructure and economy is not built to withstand us to be isolated from the outside world. We fucked that up in the past, and now that we are trying to go back to that, and we didn't set any, what's the word, contingencies? I want to say that's the word, contingencies to actually uphold our own populace without getting shipments of food and other shit in like that. Yeah, so I'm not shocked, and this will show, and it's definitely going to definitely hit the American populace more before we start to starve is going to be our wallets. With us not getting shipments of like food and shit in, especially from China or other fucking random goods, the cost of those goods, of the goods that are already here or American-made goods, they are going to skyrocket. So if you like, ground beef prices were jacked way up this fucking week.
God, they're like $20 for 15 pounds. And I don't know, like 5 years ago they were $10 because we used to buy that and cut it up into meals and freeze it because it was cheaper. And now it's like $20 for 15 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
40. It's 40. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I just checked the text messages. It was 40.
So.
Which is 4 times more than 5 years ago, and that's absolutely ridiculous.
So I don't know. It's a big thing to think about, and you're gonna see a lot more people, which is also going to affect it. Like the homesteaders and the people that are gonna be wanting to get into homesteading just so they have like fresh product that isn't gonna fucking cost them an arm and a leg. Those costs are gonna go up as well, especially when you start trying to buy like a whole cow or like a calf to fucking raise up on your own so you have fucking food. It's all this is gonna go up, and it's gonna hit you in your wallets first before you starve. So think about that.
I don't even think there's time anymore for new homesteaders to try to get a stock.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we covered it here. So the running joke for this podcast is that we're an egg podcast, right? Well, we cover eggs prices at the end of it and everything like that. But we covered, so me and Koalas, we're trying to get into homesteading a little bit more in our everyday lifestyle, and like looking at chickens, dude. We have a hardware store here where we're at, that sell like chickens. Like every year, there's like a mass fucking. They buy all these chickens and sell them to everybody. They were all sold, every one of them. Like day one when they opened the doors, and they had chickens for sale, like baby chicks. They were all sold that day. Like people are buying like 200 to 300 at a time, and it's wild to think about. And it's gonna get gross. And yeah. So I mean that's my personal experience on that, I guess. But I'm not saying that's proof or anything, but it's definitely something like you gotta like think about and look at. You know, get with your local farmers. That's about the only thing I can say. You know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got on
Devin,
that.
you got any input?
Not on this one, nope.
Haven't talked much.
I know, you just fucking silent.
Well, you both have been going on fucking
Do you want to
tangent.
Look,
jump in, dude?
that fucking shit.
I'm not gonna
That shit with
interrupt
the
you.
$5,000 shit pissed me off. I've been fucking fuming since we decided that was part of the episode today. So.
Yeah, like at noon today when we were going through fucking articles that we like found over the week, and I brought this one up, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm actually gonna have a tangent on this one." I was like, "Ooh boy."
I told him I was pretty sure I'd actually be the first person to feel a brain aneurysm happening, and we'd be able to like have a medical thing for it. Just because it made my head want to fucking explode. I was so fucking mad. So that was my bad. But oh, it's not working. There it goes.
So this, not this article, but the very next article. That's when Get Good will have his little rant. He feels really strong
Sounds
in a
good.
strong way about the brainworm man.
Okay. This one is an executive order done April 23rd, reinstating common sense school discipline policies. Now, there's been a lot of uproar on social media sites saying that this is going to allow schools to discipline your child physically. I don't see anything in that. Doesn't mean it's not opening the fucking doorways for shit like that. You touch my fucking kid, and it ain't gonna be pretty. Gonna throw that out there. But this one is specifically attacking, well, we'll just go through it. The purpose and policy is the federal government will no longer tolerate known risks to children's safety and well-being in the classroom that result from the application of school discipline based on discriminatory and unlawful equity ideology. In January of 2014, the Department of Education and the Department of Justice jointly issued a Dear Colleague letter regarding school discipline. In that letter, the Department of Education and DOJ explained that schools could be found to violate Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and therefore could lose federal funding if their disciplinary decisions ran afoul of a newly imposed disparate impact framework under which race-neutral disciplinary policies applied in an even-handed manner may be improper if members of any racial groups are suspended, expelled, or referred to law enforcement at higher rates than others. The letter effectively required schools to discriminate on the basis of race by imposing discipline based on racial characteristics, rather than on objective behavior alone. So that basically means that they couldn't use racism to punish a child more than another child. They needed to have an equal way of punishment all the way across the board.
Mhm.
That's where that bullying thing came about Obama's presidency, where if you bullied or punched a bully back or anything like that, like you both got expelled. That's where that comes from. It was a equal way to just punish everybody in trouble all across the board. This is saying that the consequences harmed students in schools. A 2018 report from the Federal Commission on School Safety noted evidence that because of the 2014 letter, schools ignored or covered up rather than disciplined student misconduct in order to avoid any purported racial disparity in discipline numbers that might catch the eye of the federal government. As a result, students who should have been suspended or expelled for dangerous behavior remained in the classroom, making all students less safe. Which wasn't true. Because at my high school and my middle school, if you were in a fight, you both were expelled. There was no talking. There was no punishment for the kid that actually punched you first. There was nothing. You both got fucking expelled. So I'm not sure how that's making students less safe. It pissed a lot of parents off when the kid being bullied got expelled too, but I'm pretty sure that does exactly what it's supposed to do. It removes the dangerous behavior. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
As the commission found, when school leaders focus on aggregate school discipline numbers rather than the specific circumstances and conduct that underlie each matter, schools become less safe. And research clearly indicates that the failure of schools to appropriately discipline disruptive students has consequences for overall student achievement. The commission's seemingly obvious conclusion was that disciplinary decisions are best left in the hands of classroom teachers and administrators, and should be based on student behavior rather than racial statistics. That is where it opens up, where teachers can decide to put their hands on your kid. Because it's not negating what disciplinary decisions can be made. It's just saying that those decisions should be left to classroom teachers and the school itself to decide what they should do per child.
Yeah. So I think this is where this is them attacking more DEI shit, which is dumb. They're just attacking it for your children now, and then opening up the doors for a potential, I don't know, lashing for your children to be done by the teachers, which I'm a hugely not a fan of.
Physical assault will happen.
Physical assault will happen. Yeah, I will make an example out of that teacher. Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. Yeah, so I don't know. It's fucked, man. I don't know. I don't understand why we gotta fuck with kids. Like, I get it. If fucking two kids are fighting and you expel both of them, fine, cool, whatever. But I don't know why we have to get rid of this now, because like this was already going on. You know what I mean? Like this is already a normalized thing for, like, I'm gonna say, because there's always that exception, right? There's always an exception. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say 90% of schools out there, this is the exception. You know what I mean? If you get caught fighting or whatever, then you both get expelled or fucking suspended or whatever, right? It's always been a thing. I don't know why we have to go back and fix things that aren't broken. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine, you know? That's what it is, I guess. I don't know why race has to be involved, or why the LGBTQ community has to be involved in all the fucking decisions here anymore. There's thousands of other problems, and this was not one of them. But we're gonna, when I say we, as in like the government, they're gonna try fucking fixing a problem, and they're just gonna make it into a problem.
Okay, so the definitions used are the definitions in the executive order of January 29th, 2025, ending radical indoctrination in K-12 schooling shall apply to this order. And behavior modification techniques means any school discipline, policies, or practices that incorporate or are based on discriminatory equity ideology.
I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. Definition A, the definition to or the executive order ending radical indoctrination. Guess what? Not a thing. They are still indoctrinating your children, and yeah, there's plenty of fucking examples.
It's getting worse. Oklahoma passed where the Bible has to be taught in all schools. They are also the first state to pass that you can physically discipline your child, that they can physically discipline your child in schools now. And if you don't, you have to opt out when you sign your child up for school. You do not get to opt in. It is an automatic thing. So if you do not read the fine print when you are signing your child up, they can beat your child if they misbehave. And that means they can beat your autistic child. They can beat your child that usually uses an IEP for not listening. They can beat your ADHD child. They can put their hands on your normal child.
And then my child gonna
because it's
swing
cool.
back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man, this is a whole new generation, dude. I'm telling you right now. Those teachers are gonna swing and get fucking laid out on
Yeah,
the floor.
our generation started hitting teachers. Now it's gonna get worse.
Oh yeah, our generation started that shit, and then it's
Mhm.
gonna get a whole fuckload worse. I agree with that fully.
And it's
My
gonna get
son's a fucking menace. He'll sucker punch me just for existing.
right.
Oh yeah, my son has grabbed handfuls of my beard and fed me repetitive haymakers. I'm not worried about my child, but anybody that thinks they're gonna do it, if my kid doesn't get it, I'm gonna get it.
Well, you've also got the kids whose parents are like us, who are like, you defend your friends too.
Oh
You
yeah.
keep your friends safe. So if he sees something going on with say, a black friend or a Mexican friend that he has, and he fucking takes a teacher out, well, you've got another problem, because he's not putting up with it either. Because this is fucking ridiculous. You don't put your hands on a kid. I don't care who the fuck you are.
Yep. But yeah, this is the old fucking great executive orders of the Orange Messiah. It's so stupid, man. It's so dumb. And I strongly encourage everybody, and I know I don't have a huge following, but I strongly encourage people, if you're gonna put your kids in the schools, make sure you pay attention to what they're being taught, honestly.
Read what you are signing to.
And read what you're signing. I do not want to read an article about somebody having their kid get beat. Like I hate reading it. I hate seeing it. I hate seeing those videos. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. But I am a firm believer of homeschooling. And I understand if you can't homeschool, I get it and I understand that. Especially if, like in my area, there's not a lot of children my son's age. So I'm putting him in school, which is so fucking. I'm so worried about it at the end of the day. I really am. But at the same time, like I need him to get with the social aspect of it, right? I can't be my son's best friend forever, even though I want to be. But in saying that, like it's a big thing. You got to pay attention to what they're teaching your child or children and Devin.
Uh-huh.
But you really gotta pay attention to that, because the public school system is an indoctrination system through and through. Whether it's for the left, whether it's for the right, I don't care. It is an indoctrination system, and maybe that's tinfoil hats, but it's not. They're not teaching true history. They're just gonna fuck your kid up and then release him into the world. And it's not what you want. So if you can, by all means, homeschool, and I push for that. So, but that's all I got on this.
This basically says that schools are in trouble if they don't provide paperwork showing that they're going to follow the order if it's put through.
Yeah, punish the schools for not punishing the children. We got two more articles.
This week is extremely frustrating.
So, is RFK Jr. creating an autism registry? What to know? So he was, but it got turned over.
Tried and failed, bitch.
Yeah, tried and failed, bitch.
So we can just talk about. I'm gonna try to make sure it was confirmed to have not been doing.
Hey, can you get rid of my emails
Sounds
up there?
very fucking Hitler of you.
Can you get rid of my emails up there?
Oh, sorry.
This whole ass doxed me right now.
I did not see that. My bad.
Oh, good.
It was blocked.
So basically, he was using health and human services to help locate all the autistic people and was going to put them on a registry.
Yeah, because we can't work for ourselves or take care of ourselves or have families. We're a burden on society.
I'm gonna let Devin here.
Motherfucking
vent this one
dumb
out.
fuck. Everything he said we can't do, I've done. But half of us have. The people he's talking about are extremely autistic people, and they're usually also paired with other things like learning disabilities and shit like that. And even then, they don't need to be on a fucking registry. Why do you need to know where they are, you fucking weirdo?
Yeah.
But see, that's how you end up with a fucking, like a trickle problem. Like, you go for the worst ones first, and then when they're all rounded
Yeah.
up,
Like
do you go after
fucking
next?
Hitler did.
You know? And even just talking about this, that's why I left it up here. It's because it's extremely dangerous.
I just
Because you go...
his grandfather should be the one still alive. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, fuck. Okay, anyway, Brandenburg v. Ohio, 1969. Holy shit. Yeah, that was... Okay, see, this is why you're not allowed talking. Because my door's going to get kicked in now, you fucker. Yeah, no, this is a tactic that was used back in World War I and World War II as well, by yours truly, the fucking mustache man himself. And here we are again in 2025 talking about doing it in America. It's disgusting. Yeah.
Hold on, I found the article that says that it is not being used now, so it's gonna... One second, let me pull it up.
I'm about to play the Jeopardy music.
I found it. It's up. It's working on it. Okay. So, April 25th, they did walk back the autism registry plans. Basically, they announced that on Monday, April 21st, the Department of Health and Human Services announced plans to collect federal and private health data for upcoming autism studies, which is a huge HIPAA violation, major HIPAA violation. And a new disease registry focused on autism. Public outcry and alarm across the autism community is most likely what ended up making them backtrack this. Yesterday, HHS said in written statements to multiple journalists that they will not be creating an autism registry, contrary to Dr. Bhattacharya's statements. So, it's assumed that it is not going to happen. Does not mean that it won't still. Does not mean that it won't come back up later. Does not mean they won't find a way around whatever with this data collection. We'll just have to sit and see. But this is good news for right now, that it's not actively happening.
Yeah.
So.
All
Fucking
right.
put me on a registry.
They
Put him
didn't
on a
even
fucking
know.
registry for being fucking old and insane.
Technically, shouldn't he be on one with a brainworm and fucking heroin use and...
Yeah, we're gonna start an addict registry.
Right? And, like, admitting to being on fucking Epstein's plane twice with his children. Like, he's got, like, 3 chances to be on his own registries.
Yeah. Just straight
Oh,
publicly
speaking of
admitted.
which, another one of Epstein's, the people that, he did horrific shit to, did a good old got suicided recently.
You got Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck pedos. Anyway. Hate them. Nasty scum, fucking cunts of the world. All right.
They're on a registry.
So, as to hold tradition for the Beardarchy, we have egg prices. And the egg prices for a 60 rack, because that's what we call it here, because it sounds cool.
I have a
There it
60
is.
rack in my fridge.
Yeah, everybody got a 60 rack in the fridge. It is 21.68 here in Pocatello, Idaho. So
It's gone down 84 cents since the last episode.
yep, 36.1 cent, or yeah, 36 cents for one egg. So
However, the White House did just waste 30,000 eggs on the egg run for Easter, so I imagine those prices are gonna fucking skyrocket again.
yeah, probably because they didn't even turn them into food, which that baffles me. Like if you dye your eggs, like I hope everybody knows, like the eggs are still good. Like just turn them into like deviled eggs or like I don't know egg salad. I'm a huge fan of egg salad. That shit's delicious. But anyway, egg prices. Because we are an egg podcast. We're actually not a political podcast. We are an egg podcast. But yeah,
The rest of it's just filler.
the rest of it's just filler, dude. Can't talk about egg prices for fucking 2 hours. But yeah, so that's the podcast today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you have any complaints or if you want to talk shit on us, we have an email. Leave us a comment on Spotify. We already did get somebody...
if we say fuck too much or Doug takes too fat of vape rips.
Yeah, if I take too fat of vape rips or Devin says fuck too much, be sure to leave us a message on it. Like, tell us that we're doing really not good stuff here. It's funny, though, because I want you to also realize as you're writing me hate mail, we literally come on this podcast and tell you that you should live your own life and not to infringe on other people's happiness. So just remember that because I'm going to make fun of you. Because that is the whole point of this podcast is to live your own life and not live by how other people tell you to. Remember that when you go to put fucking hate mail on because I will bring it up and make fun of you. So if you're that guy...
If you got a fucking neck beard, I will make fun of you for it, too.
Yeah, there you go. If you got a neck beard, I'll also make fun of you. I won't. I don't really care what you wear, but Get Good Over Here is going to make fun of you. So anyway, we do have merch. We got... I'm not wearing it today. We got the Albert Einstein quote t-shirt on there. We have Uncle Ho's comment. Nothing's more important than independence and liberty. And we got some stickers as well. We are working on more. We'll get them up. We do have emails. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about, or if you just want to have a conversation with us on a personal level, because you didn't understand something, or you want to, maybe we got false information, and we're more than happy to discuss it and the whole nine. So shoot us a message.
Or you have an update. If you have an update that we missed too.
Yeah, or if you have an update. If you have an update, by all means, shoot us that update. We have no problem talking about it in the next episode. So yeah, Beardarchy episode 13. Anything else you guys want to add? Really?
Oh, fuck the federal government.
There you go. That's the fucking
Do
closer.
not have children.
Do not have children. Fuck the federal government. And support your local farmers. We're out of here.